Hello and welcome. This is Columbia Basin Research's third video in a multi-part series on using Program PitPro. PitPro is a program created by Columbia Basin Research at the University of Washington's School of Aquatic and Fisheries Sciences. PitPro is designed to translate raw PTAGIS PIT-tag data into usable capture histories for programs SURPH and ROSTER. PitPro also provides a variety of reports, including an error report, a travel time table, and program diagnostics for further analyses. The logic of the program is updated continuously based on the latest PTAGIS site configuration, ensuring accuracy. Today in this third video, we'll go through the various input data files you'll need when using PitPro and how to properly interpret them. Let's fire up the program. As mentioned previously in video 1, PitPro uses 4 data files. 2 are necessary, tagging and interrogation data, and 2 are optional, recapture and mortality data. Let's load in our input-output folders, uncheck filter by file type, and then assure our files are properly accounted for in the run config as detailed in the previous videos in this series. PitPro treats a mortality or recapture in almost the same way. A fish is censored at the point of recapture mortality or at the nearest prior defined capture history site. In other words, if a juvenile fish is recaptured or removed as a mortality at McNary Dam or between McNary and John Day Dams, and McNary is defined as a capture history site, the fish will be tagged as removed at McNary. The only exception to this rule is for fish recaptured at the point of release. If the release site and the recapture site are identical, the recapture may be ignored as one option, and any subsequent capture history will be unaffected, i.e. processed normally. In general, data downloaded from PTAGIS are ready to use by PitPro. PitPro will remove quotes, commas, and any header or footer information before processing the data. In most of the following examples, the data are shown in comma-separated variable CSV format, but tab delimited will work too. Also following is a detailed look at the input data files. Regarding the tag data file, it provides PitPro with tagging data, i.e. tag file ID, release information, fish type, and fish length. The sample shows the proper format for a tag file. The minimum required columns are tag ID, release date and time, release site, species, run, and rearing type. Commas, quotes, headers, and poorly formatted lines will be ignored. Optionally, individual covariate data may be input via the tag file. Any columns in addition to the required ones shown previously are taken to be covariate data. In this example, length and weight have been added to the end of each row. Any number of additional columns can be added, so there is no limit to the number of individual covariates that can be provided this way. These covariate data will be available for inclusion in the SURPH data file. If you open up our example tagging data CSV file titled Tagging Data Example Program PitPro CSV, you can see here we have a fish with the tag ID 18BEF released on November 23rd at Wimpy Creek, species 3, run 2, rear type W with a length of 62 millimeters. Video 2 in this series breaks down the codes for species, run, and rear type. Regarding interrogation files, this example shows the proper format for the interrogation data file. The file consists of 4 columns, or 5 after commas are removed. Tag ID, observation site, observation date and time, and observation coil antenna ID. Generally, dates provided by PitTAGIS should work. Any lines that don't match these formats are ignored. Any commas, quotes, and extra white spaces are also ignored. You can also look at our example CSV file, interrogation data example program PitPro CSV here. Looking at observation sites, you can see examples like JDJ as John Day Dam and B2J, the standard juvenile bypass channel at Powerhouse 2 of Bonneville. For example, a fish tagged A4326C went through the standard juvenile bypass at Bonneville, B2J, May 19th at 2105, antenna ID 1. Turning to our recapture data files, recapture data are used to augment interrogation data. When a fish is recaptured, PitPro tags the fish as removed at the recapture site. If the recapture site is a defined capture history site or the nearest prior defined capture history site. In other words, a fish recaptured at McNary Dam, assuming that McNary Dam is one of the defined capture history sites, is tagged as removed at McNary. If the fish is recaptured downstream of McNary but upstream of the next capture history site, it also will be tagged as removed at McNary. In some cases, fish are recaptured soon after release, and the recapture site matches the release site. It is possible to configure PitPro to ignore these recaptures, allowing subsequent observations to be recorded in the capture history as if the recapture never happened. Downstream recaptures will be treated as previously described. If you would like to ignore recaptures, remember you can do so by going to the Advanced tab and checking the box Ignore Recaptures at the release site under Recapture Data. Again, if we turn to our example CSV file, Recapture Data Example Program PitPro CSV, we can see a fish with a tag ID B6556 recaptured on October 9, 2016 at 11:59 at Fish Creek Trap with the river kilometer value of the Fish Creek Trap. Mortality data are treated the same way as recaptures, except that removal of mortalities is never optional. Turning to our mortality CSV file, mortality data example program PitPro, we can see a fish with a tag code B653D died on September 20th, 2017 at Central Blaluk Island, River Kilometer 440. This has been Lesson 3 on using Program PitPro, in which we looked at our various input files. We hope that this video has given you a better understanding of the various input files you'll need to use with Program PitPro. Future videos in this series will cover the program's output and offer hints and tips on properly configuring the program. We hope that this video helps you get the most out of Program PitPro. Again, if you have any questions or comments in regard to Program PitPro, please fill out our survey as previously detailed. You can also contact Columbia Basin Research at web@cbr.washington.edu. Best of luck with your analysis, and thank you.